Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2024 Toyota Tacoma Trailhunter. Huge shout out to Carl at Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing his personal truck for me today. Take a look at their website. I'll have that link down in the description below. This is a very cool mid-sized truck to take a look at. He got it in underground. MSRPs for these start right around $62,900. Now with the Trailhunter, you get the iForce Max. So underneath the hood, this is the 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It's paired to the 8-speed automatic, and it pumps out 326 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque. Now that power is primarily sent to the rear wheels. However, the Trailhunter also has the 4-wheel drive system. This weighs in right around 5,400 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in just over 7 seconds. Top speed is 106 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 18.2 gallons. You'll expect to see around 22 miles per gallon in the city, 24 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 145.1 inches. Its overall length is 227. It has a width of 80, a height of 76. Its ground clearance also measures in at 11 inches, and it also has an approach angle of 35.2 degrees. Breakover angle is 24 degrees, and then its departure angle is 22.3 degrees. Now with the Trailhunter as well, you have two different bed options to go with. This is the 6-foot bed for this particular model. Now as we take a look at the exterior styling, you'll notice up front, a lot of the Trailhunter options provide you with the Rigid Industries fog lights, which are in the lower section of the bumper there. This also has the 20-inch light bar that is nicely placed up underneath Toyota, which is finished off in bronze, which is a cool accent. There's also the forward-facing camera, there's skid plates underneath, and then we have the high clearance bumper. So you'll notice that you can see pretty much all of that front tire because of the approach angle and the design in that bumper there. Now there's also the brushed accent for the lower section there. There's a sensor for the distance pacing. You have a lot of cutouts, both in that lower section as well as the grille itself. And then this also has a dark housing for the LEDs up front, including the turn signal and the DRLs. And then at nighttime, it's going to be hard to see right now, but Trailhunter actually lights up. So that's an illuminating logo that you will see at night. And then there's some really nice lines that come down the hood to give it a great look. Now with this Trailhunter, you also get the wide fender flare. So it's roughly 3 inches wider in its overall width because of that. This also has a 2.5-inch Old Man Emu lift kit, where you'll notice Trailhunter on the upper control arms, which are finished off in bronze there. This also has bronze for these 18-inch wheels, and it has 33-inch tires from the factory. This also comes with the intake snorkel, and you can actually hear the turbo when you have this window down. We'll take a listen to that once we get this out on the road. There's also the camera and the turn signal for the side mirrors there, and then rock sliders, which are frame mounted for the Trailhunter. There's the Trailhunter badge with that compass after it there. And then really nice lines running down the side. There's the same indentation, very similar to the 3rd gen in the lower section of the door there. And then with the 6-foot bed, it extends into the back section there. The Trailhunter also gets this ARB cage setup for the bed there. And this truck also has the bed lights. So those will illuminate with the 3rd brake light, where the light is up there for your cargo. So that way you can see in the bed and you can see around this truck too. Now in back, you'll notice Toyota in the handle. There's also 2 cameras. Tacoma is stamped in that lower section there. This also has the ARB rear bumper along with these jack mounts. So if you're off-roading, you can use these with a high jack lift in order to get the vehicle off the ground if you need to change a tire or anything like that. This is also a very capable truck. It can tow right around 6,000 pounds. You have all the sensors in that steel bumper as well. And then with the Trailhunter, you have a lot of ways that you can open and close this power tailgate. So there's actually a control on both taillights. You have the normal button there, and then you also have the button on the key fob. But if we use this button here, one of 4 ways to open this up, and you can lower this down. Now in this particular truck, this has the spray-in bed liner, which is really cool to see for this truck. The Trailhunter also gets the air compressor. So that compressor unit is down below, and then you have the adjustments here to turn it on, to go through all that information, and then to hook up the hose as well. Now there's all the tie downs. There's also the 3-prong outlet over on the passenger side, and you get a little bit of space in that lower section there. So you have a good bit of space. In my 3rd gen Tacoma, I had the 5-foot bed and it was plenty full for me. But with the 6-foot bed here, you get even more space. You can also just barely lift up on the tailgate and it will close the rest of the way for you. So pretty convenient to have that feature. And then you'll notice too that with the Trailhunter, you can see the ARB suspension in the rear. This also comes with the high clearance rear exhaust. So it actually dumps in front of the axle there rather than continuing all the way to the back, which is nice just to give you a little less items in the back to hit off-road. Now as we work our way to the interior, for this Trailhunter, you get the really nice gray interior with all the bronze stitching, really cool trim accent just underneath that. Plenty of storage in the door there. Now for the hybrid, you lose all the storage under the back seats. This is where that hybrid system is located, so these seats are fixed. But let's hop in now where we have a grab handle in all 4 corners. It's a little bit of a tight or a high truck here, but at 5'10", I have the front seat set at my height, where it's a little bit more than in the 3rd gen Tacoma, not by much. You have some cup holders, you have some auxiliaries down below, and then at my height, I have about an inch or so of headroom. Comparing it to my 3rd gen, like it's pretty similar, but it's comfy. You could ride around town and be fine in the back. You also have the electronic sliding rear window, so you can open that as needed. Dome light is up top there. It's pretty much what you expect for a mid-sized truck like this. And then up front, for the door panel, you'll notice Trailhunter. There's also storage in the middle and lower section, and there's even an upper armrest here to make it more comfortable while driving. You have all of your window controls as well, and then you get power seats for the Trailhunter. Really nice design for these heated and ventilated seats. And then as we hop into it, let's start this up and take a listen to how this sounds. And coming back to the digital gauge cluster now, you can actually go through a few different settings with this. So going over to the left side of the steering wheel, you have volume, Bluetooth controls, and then you can use these arrows to further go through the rest of this. So as you'll notice, there's the number 2, there's 3, and then we're back to 1 here. If you hold down on OK, you can actually customize the middle, the right side, and the left side. So just depending on the gauges that you would like to see, you have 3 different presets to monitor that. The rest of the information that is shown is all fixed. Now on this right side, you have mode and tuning. There's also your cruise control settings as well. On the left side, you have quite a lot to go through. You have the cargo lights that I mentioned in the bed. There's the light bar, fog lights. You have fixed auxiliary switches, so if you need to hook up some more items, you can do that. You have the tailgate, the power outlet, traction control, automatic headlights, your fuel cap release, and then some dimmer switches for the gauges. More of that trim accent. There's also the head-up display. And then with the Trailhunter, you also get the JBL audio with the portable Bluetooth speaker. So you can pop that out of the dash and take it with you, which is nice. And then we have the massive 14-inch touchscreen system. So here's the navigation. You also have music and your phone. And then you can get into some of this information and all of the general settings to configure this as needed. It's a simple system, but it gives you everything that you need. You get more of that trim accent with Toyota over on that passenger side. Big volume knob right in the middle with air vents. And then you have very large knobs for the temperature dials. You get the heated steering wheel, heated and ventilated seats, and then another LCD screen for all of your climate adjustments. So you have the fan speed, you have where you'd like the air to go, and then some defrosters and AC too. This also has wireless charging. You get some more auxiliaries on that passenger side, along with a little bit of storage and that grab handle. Let's put this into reverse, where you have a lot of different camera angles that you can go through. You have the forward-facing camera, rear-facing camera. You also have these side view mirrors that you can look at. You can get into the bed. You can also go into this split view when you're off-roading, so you can monitor all this information and have that all at once. And then you also have the 360 view too, where you can get through all of these different angles. Really neat to see that amount of visibility, especially if you're taking this off-road. You really don't even need another spotter with all of those angles. Now you have drive, and then you can also shift using the shifter here. There's your e-brake, auto hold. You have your four-wheel drive selector, as well as tow and haul mode. You have downhill assist, along with crawl control, and then the multi-terrain select. So you can use these dials to go through all of that. along with the on-road driving for your sport, normal, and eco. Now there's also a trailer backup assistance. You have a shortcut to the camera system, so you can push on the view icon there and monitor around the entire vehicle. There's also the locking rear differential and the sway bar disconnect. You have some cup holders, a little bit of storage in the middle. There's also the glove box where you have plenty of space. You even get some hidden storage up top, which is nice. And then for the rear view mirror, you even have the digital camera. So if you need a little bit more visibility, you can do that. You have adjustments for it as well on the right side there. Left side is all the garage door buttons. You do get a sunglass holder and then dome lights up top. And then a look at visibility. Very similar to the 3rd gen. Pickups really don't have any blind spots, so it's very easy to see in all directions. So now that we're behind the wheel for the Tacoma Trailhunter, let's talk about the interior real quick, because now that I have an ownership experience from the owner here, who happens to be 6'4", he fits very comfortably in this truck. I know that was something that was a big, kind of a miss with the 3rd gen. A lot of people who were that tall weren't able to fit well in the 3rd gen Tacoma, and we're going with some of the other competitors. So with the new 4th generation, you do have a little bit better of a seating position, and we have the adjustments for the height of the seat now. So that way, if you are taller, you can lower it a little bit just to get a little bit more headroom. And as far as the drive goes, I've been able to drive the 4th gen Tacoma quite a lot. This is the first time that I'm in the iForce Max, which is also the engine option that I'm going with in my Tacoma, which is why I haven't got it just yet. I'm waiting for that, as well as a few other options that I would like to spec with it. But we'll give it a small acceleration here in just a second. This is a fun truck to drive though. With the Trailhunter, you get the Old Man Emu suspension, which is actually the suspension I went with on my 3rd gen Tacoma, and I really liked it. It's a suspension that Toyota's been working with for quite some time, so you're going to get a really nice driving vehicle. And the owner actually bought this out of state, already has over 400 miles on it so far, and I'm sure it's been a really nice vehicle to drive. It's also super comfortable and quiet. One thing I will say though, hopefully the audio can pick this up, because when you roll down the passenger window with this intake, you can actually hear the engine and the turbo slightly. Hopefully you can hear that from the audio, but that is pretty cool to hear. So I'm sure if we put on some aftermarket mods or something, you might be able to hear that a little bit better if you don't get the snorkel. Of course, that is only on the Trailhunter unless you do that afterwards on some of the other models. But this is a great truck to drive. I'm super excited for mine. I hope you guys are excited to follow along with the 4th gen content and the build that we have for that truck. But it's super nice. All of the refinements, everything about this truck, I do like over my 3rd gen. I've made several comparison videos as well, so if you want to check those out, you can take a look at the 3rd versus the 4th gen, but I think they did a lot of nice improvements for this truck. A lot of things that I would have done to mine that I just couldn't do, so the refresh, I think, has made it a very nice interior. And with the Trailhunter as well, you also get the coil springs in the rear versus the leaf springs. So it is going to give it a little bit more of a comfortable ride. Some of the Tacomas still have the leaf springs for the lower trim levels, but it's just going to give you more of a comfortable on-road feel, but it's still going to give you the articulation for off-roading as well. All right, so switching angles now. Let's actually put it over into the manual setting now. We'll put it into sport mode and we can give it some gas here. So just a mild acceleration. We still have a brand new truck, but I've been able to drive the base 4-cylinder and give that some gas, and I'm really impressed with the power that these new engines have. A lot of people are knocking on them because they're not the V6 that the 3rd gen has, but with the power that you get, it's kind of hard to argue that, because you have a lot more power, which is also going to be helpful for towing if you plan on towing. I have about a 6,000 pound trailer that I'll have behind my hybrid, which is why I want to go with the hybrid. You get a lot of that low end torque from the hybrid system, which is nice, so it's a little bit less stressful on the engine itself. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the Trailhunter Tacoma. The Trailhunter is also geared more towards overlanding. So this vehicle, as you've already seen with the lift kit, we have the bed accessory, we have some exterior lighting options. This is a vehicle that you can take camping, you can go off-roading, you have a well accessorized truck, and there's also a lot more accessories Toyota is offering this year. So if you want to build your truck basically from Toyota, you can buy this, you can add on a lot of options as part of the truck and build it through Toyota if you want everything to have a factory warranty. So there's a lot of different options that you can go with all of the Toyotas in general, which is really nice to see. And it's a great truck to drive. It sits very high up. We have the lifted truck here, so we have a little bit higher of a seating position, but we also have a really nice armrest as well. The owner was telling me how comfortable it is to use the armrest up here. You have the armrest down below if you like to use that too, but it's a great seating position and something that I'm excited to drive. This is going to be kind of my daily driver. And real quick, with towing, I forgot to mention there's the trailer braking system as well, so you can actually use that and just have a little bit more benefits with towing if that's what you're using this smaller truck for. But definitely a cool platform. I like the power that this engine has to offer, and I'm super excited for mine. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Once again, huge shout out to Carl for letting me check out his brand new truck. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with the delivery of my 4th Gen Tacoma coming in the next several months. And I will see you all in the next video.